I am absolutely hyped for this Halloween game. I was a huge fan of the Friday the 13th game and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. I was a huge fan of the 1978 Halloween movie. I'm really excited to see if they do that movie justice with this game, to get a lot of the people involved in the first movie back on board. You know, John Carpenter even has an executive producer credit. Gonna have the iconic music in there. That Donald Pleasance voiceover, though, needs a little bit of work. That's a tough voice to master, though, but we need a little bit of work on that Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis voice. But overall, I'm really excited for this game. And there's a few things that I want to see this game do that I think if they do right, this could just add to the legacy of Halloween. Halloween's legacy, especially that 1978 movie, is just cemented in pop culture like it's always going to be. It's just one of the most iconic horror movies of all time and one of the most iconic characters with Michael Myers. And it's just so exciting that a movie that came out in 1978, that we are still getting content for this movie. Not only new movies, potentially a new show with Miramax, but now a video game. It just adds to that legacy, adds to that lore. And a game could be a great way to kind of add to that if it's done right. And so a few things that I want to see, I really want them to make Michael Myers feel like the Shape. I really want him to feel like overpowered in a way that isn't game breaking. You know, a lot of times when we get these games, they have to make certain characters so, you know, whether it be the Friday the 13th game, Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, I think that they've done a great job making these games feel like you're those characters. But with Michael Myers, it's going to be a lot different because, again, he's the Shape. He's like, how does he get from here to here? They're going to have game mechanics that are kind of going to have him transport to places on the map. Is it going to be a stalking system, kind of like you see in Dead by Daylight, where you got to build up this meter or something like that? In a few of the interviews, they've talked about how, you know, they've really mentioned a lot about landline phones and cutting the electricity to call the cops and stuff. So I'm sure you're going to be doing a lot of that stuff like you were in the Friday the 13th game. Based on what I'm reading in the interviews, it seems like that's like a big inspiration, is that original movie. Like they're really focused on the 1978 original movie. And to go back to the single player campaign, that's the other thing I want to say. I want this single player campaign to feel like an addition to the movie. I don't want them to mess with the lore of the movie, but I want them to fill in the blank, so to speak. I would love to see some different scenes with these characters, some different things that kind of flesh out the whole thing. And I think Elphonic will do that. I think they did that with the Ghostbusters games. And so I'm really excited to see that single player component, because I think that's something they haven't done. And if you're somebody who doesn't really want to play the online multiplayer because you're just not into it and you want to play a more single player, like streamlined experience, I'm hoping we get like a 10-hour campaign or something, you know, something that really feels fresh, maybe some DLC down the line where we kind of add some different chapters. I'm sure that this game, they're in it for the long haul, simply because you're going to do this game with 1978 Halloween, but hopefully they're able to do it with the other movies and bring in other characters, kind of like they did with Friday the 13th before all the rights issues got scrambled and they had to stop promoting that game. The other thing I want to see is I want to see them put a lot of effort and time into the game for longer periods of time. We saw that with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, how they just kind of, that game just kind of stopped, they kind of stopped making content for it. And I'm not really sure why. I mean, I know they've explained reasons why. A lot of it could be because they wanted to turn their focus to Halloween. I'm not sure. People that follow the gaming industry probably know more about that than I do. But just as a fan of the franchise of Halloween, I want to see them explore more of the DLC, explore more of, you know, all this different stuff they can do within Halloween with the characters, with the different masks, different abilities. And I think they did a really good job with that with the Friday the 13th game, making every version of Jason feel different and fresh when you're playing as him in the online multiplayer. Another thing I really want to see is I want to feel like it's Halloween time in the game. I want to feel like it's fall. I really hope the music's going to really help with that, but I really want to feel that on the screen. Part of the interview I saw that they had with IGN, some of the developers that were talking about how, you know, you're not going to be doing boring stuff. You're not going to be walking around in the day. And I thought that that was kind of interesting because a couple of the best parts in Halloween take place in the daytime, where Michael Myers is hiding behind the bush, or Michael Myers is standing in a bunch of things where, like, you know, where she looks out the window and he's there with the clothes with 1 minute and then the next minute he's not there. So I don't know really what they meant by that, but I do want to see more of Halloween feel, and I want the holiday to really take on a personality in the game. I really think the single player experience could benefit from it feeling even more like the holiday of Halloween and feeling like fall. And as good as that job I think Halloween did with that early on in the film, I want that to kind of be even more of a presence in this movie. That's just me personally. And the final thing I would say for me that I want to see is I just want to see people get excited for some new Halloween stuff. I think it's like whether you like the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy, whether you're excited that they're having a game, whether you're excited about all this, the TV show that Miramax might do for Halloween. It is crazy to me that in 1978 this movie came out, low budget horror film, just took the world by storm, and then now in 2026 when this game comes out, we're going to have a great gaming experience. And I just think that's so exciting that we're still getting fresh content for Halloween. I mean, if you're a fan of Halloween, you've been eating really good lately. Whether you've enjoyed the movies or not, you're getting constant, theatrical release movies, developing TV shows, video games. A lot of these franchises like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that, even the Friday 13th franchise, you're not getting hardly anything of that content. I mean, we finally start getting the Jason Universe stuff, but a lot of these franchises are waiting for that moment. And so if you're a Halloween fan, you got to be at least excited that we're still getting new stuff. I mean, at least I am. I can only speak for myself, but I'm really hyped for this game. Let me know in the comments below what you think and if you're excited to play this game. I love video games. These are the type of games that I always love to play, so I'm going to be putting a lot of hours into this game because I just can't. I love the Halloween franchise, and as a huge fan of the movies, I can't wait to play this game as well. So I'm really hyped. Let me know if you're hyped as well. Let me know what thing you want to see in the game, and let's have a conversation in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.